Welcome to the Orange Globe. It's the OG NBA podcast, hosted by me, Dayton Brown. Population, every NBA fan. Today is July 6th, 2018, and I hope you guys had a fantastic 4th of July if you live here in the States. Before we get to some more free agent news and Summer League updates, I have a big announcement for this channel. If everything goes according to plan, the very first series, of course, besides the standard podcast that I've been posting, on this channel will premiere in October. I'll be joined by fellow NBA fanatic and commentator Quentin Worthy, who is a very, very good friend of mine. The series will be called Who You Got, and will be released on either Sunday, Saturday, or Monday evening each and every week of the NBA season. We haven't decided what day we're going to do yet, or if we're going to do multiple days. That is yet to be determined. We'll keep you guys updated, of course. But pretty much the idea of the series, Quentin and I will be analyzing and predicting each NBA matchup of the upcoming week. So you'll get roster breakdowns, you'll get matchup talk for individual players, score predictions, and a whole lot more will be going on in that series called Who You Got. Going to be dropping in October, like I said, you guys, so keep your eyes out for that. We're looking forward to giving you guys some in-depth analysis every week for that NBA season. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at The Orange Globe. If you want to stay up to date with everything, subscribe to this channel here. Click that subscribe button right down below if you want to check out every single video that we will be posting, every single podcast. I got a whole bunch of stuff planned for this channel, so it'll be a lot more than just a podcast. This new series, Who You Got, is just step one, and there's many more to come even before that one drops in October. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And let's get into the grind, guys. Let's get into free agency news. Days 2 to 6. Saw you guys July 2nd was the last time we talked, 4 days ago. A lot has happened since then. First and foremost, of course, DeMarcus Cousins has agreed to a 1-year, $5.3 million deal with the Golden State Warriors. Pretty much as minimum as you can get without actually using the vet minimum is essentially the deal that DeMarcus Cousins signed. He did not stay with the Pelicans. He did not go to the Los Angeles Lakers. A lot of people had speculated that those were the final two teams he was deciding on. Nope. Turns out he is going to the Golden State Warriors, teaming up with that already fantastic team and coaching staff. The, I guess, catch to all of this is that Cousins is going to be out until either December, January, or February of the season. So he's going to miss 2 to 4 months of the beginning of the year. I don't think the Warriors are really going to miss him, obviously. We know how talented they are. We know that they've done great without him on the team before. For the past 4 or 5 seasons, they've won 73 games in an entire NBA season. We know how well they can do no matter the circumstances, and that was with a backup head coach for most of the year. So Steve Kerr is going to be coaching DeMarcus Cousins along with some of the other fantastic players already on that roster. They pretty much have 5 all-stars starting on that team. Cousins' signing says 2 things to me. Or I guess it could say 2 things to me. I'm not sure which is actually true. The first is that he really wasn't getting a lot of looks. And if that is true, then the significance of his injury is a lot higher than I was originally thinking. Cousins says that he did not really get any offers. It didn't set up any meetings with teams, so that could be a reason why he never actually got an official offer. And apparently, obviously, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson were recruiting DeMarcus Cousins, which is great, as was Steve Kerr. They were going after him. Obviously, mutual interest there. But the other thing that may have happened with Cousins is he may see his window closing of his actual prime in the NBA, and I guess his career as a whole. So why not get a ring now with the Warriors, and whatever else happens after this season won't matter a whole lot as long as you have a championship ring and you played for one of the best teams of all time. So Cousins may see that. That may be the reason he signed with the Warriors instead of what I originally had said, and that he didn't get a whole lot of offers like he's saying. I have a feeling the latter is more so truthful. I have a feeling not a lot of teams were offering Cousins any money, if they were offering him anything at all. But they surely were setting up meetings with Cousins. They really, really wanted to sign him. I don't think any team in the NBA doesn't want DeMarcus Cousins, and the best team in the NBA just so happens to get him, which is very unfortunate for the rest of us NBA. If you're a Warriors fan, you're feeling fantastic right now. But if you're outside, Maybe only if you're a Lakers fan are you not feeling so good about this signing in comparison to your the rest of your actual favorite team. So for Cousins, though, if he decided that, hey, instead of chasing after some money somewhere where I know I might not be that successful, might not win that often, now I can come to the Warriors. Whether it doesn't matter how many games he plays, most likely he's going to win a championship there. And most likely from that Achilles tendon, which we'll get to in just a second, most likely won't affect him that much if he is able to come back onto the court. They will be limiting his minutes and whatnot. But he looks at it as, hey, I can go onto this team, I'm going to be on the roster regardless, got to make $5 million, and I'm also going to get a ring. I could have maybe made, max contract over with the Pelicans. Am I going to be able to win a championship with them? Probably not anytime soon. But he would have insurance. Now, I also think Cousins might be so confident in his recovery from his injuries that he is signing this one-year deal, not taking a lot of money, guaranteeing the fact that he's most likely going to win a championship with his team, and using all that to boost his pedigree, to boost his resume, and end up getting an even fatter contract next offseason. That would be really, really smart by DeMarcus Cousins. But there are also reports from Chris Haynes that the Portland Trail Blazers, of course my favorite team, had a deal in place, a sign and trade in place for DeMarcus Cousins. Not sure who was offered on the Blazers end of the spectrum, but apparently there was a deal in place, and it got complicated and ended up fizzling out due to the fact that DeMarcus Cousins and Jusuf Nurkic both have the same agent, and right now Nurkic is a restricted free agent. So if we were to trade for Boogie Cousins, Nurkic most likely isn't going to get a whole lot of money, especially not from the Blazers. So that lessens his chances of getting a good NBA contract, and due to that, it was just a very complicated situation, and of course, it led to Cousins not coming to the Blazers and going to the Warriors. So I don't really buy the fact that Cousins didn't have any offers. Maybe he didn't have any formal contract offers from teams just willing to sign him as a free agent besides this Warriors deal. I don't know what really was up, but Cousins is going to be a Golden State Warrior. It's going to be crazy. This team was already great, and now they got the best center, if not one of the best centers in the league. Now, the only thing is, how well will DeMarcus Cousins come back from that Achilles tear? We've seen 300-pound centers, we've seen big guys in the NBA try to come back from that Achilles tear. It just doesn't happen. We've seen it in the NFL as well. It just doesn't happen. So much weight is put on that part of your body, and it also controls so many other aspects, especially obviously in your legs, which can lead to a lot of knee issues, a lot of ankle issues, and this could be major injuries that can keep him sidelined for a long time, or they can just be nagging injuries that end up just deteriorating his body over time, and 2 years from now, he could absolutely be out of the league because he can't play. So it's going to be interesting to see how he recovers. Like I said, he won't be back until anytime between December and February. So I really don't know what to make of it yet. It could be it's either one of two things. Cousins is just really confident in himself and his injury that he signed this deal because he knows that he can just get a ring and get a fatter contract next offseason, or he knows that his Achilles tendon is not going to heal that well, and he's just getting as much money as he can now while also winning a championship to at least try to slowly end his career on a high note if that Achilles tear is just too bad for him to play out the rest of his career. But either way, it's going to be an exciting season. Do wish the best of luck to DeMarcus Cousins, one of my favorite players in the league. Hope that he does very well over with the Golden State Warriors. Julius Randle is going to Cousins' former team, the New Orleans Pelicans. We talked about his surprising release from the Lakers on the last episode, but he signed a 2-year, $18 million contract with the New Orleans Pelicans. He's headed to the East, one of the best young power forwards in the entire NBA. Of course, he really was part of this Lakers rebuilding process. He was going to be a very big piece for their future going forward. 7th overall pick in the 2014 NBA draft was Randle. Now he's teaming up with Anthony Davis, who recruited him very, very hard according to reports. Diligently, he recruited Julius Randle to come to the team. So maybe they thought that Cousins was already on his way out, and they decided to get Randle to move him to the 4 spot and have Anthony Davis at the 5. Either way, this is one of the most athletic and really best overall, I think, mid-range shooting front courts we have in the entire NBA now. So Pelicans are a very interesting team. Drew Holiday can keep up what he did in the playoffs last year. This is a very well-balanced team. I do like Alvin Gentry there too, to kind of be the voice of this team and lead them on their way. He's a good head coach. He really gets that New Orleans vibe as well. So I think that this was a good signing by the Pelicans. $9 million a year for Julius Randle, one of the best young power forwards in the league. Pelicans are a lot more interesting. Another team who got a lot more interesting, Charlotte Hornets out east. Tony Parker, believe it or not, spent his entire career with the San Antonio Spurs, has now signed a 2-year, $10 million contract with the Charlotte Hornets. He will be most likely, looks like, backing up Kemba Walker. I don't see how it would be Kemba Walker at the 1 and Tony Parker at the 2. So I'm assuming that Parker is going to be backing him up. He was already going to be back up in San Antonio, so it looks like he's just taking on a bigger role in a lesser conference with the Hornets. Smart by him. The silly thing, though, is Tony Parker, surefire Hall of Famer. I think DeMarcus Cousins is also probably going to end up in the Hall of Fame. Both of them are getting paid less than $5.5 million this year. Players are taking massive pay cuts so far this offseason. Totally opposite of what happened 2 years ago. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays into the next offseason or even the 2020 offseason as well, because a lot of these guys are taking less money, less years on their contracts. So we're going to have a lot more free agents looking for some more money. Teams are going to be able to shell out more money now that they're giving out less here. So it's very, very interesting to see how all this is operating. But Tony Parker, fantastic veteran. Leadership is what he's going to be bringing to the team. Mentorship as well for that Charlotte Hornets team. So essentially for the Hornets, you get Tony Parker as your veteran leader instead of Dwight Howard. I think that is a 10 times better upgrade right there. So a good pickup by the Hornets. Wish the best of luck to Tony Parker and the Spurs heading forward too, because of the Spurs now are just left with the Manu Ginobili as that three-headed monster they had with Duncan, Parker, and Ginobili. So times are changing for the Spurs, but they still have a really big checklist there with Kawhi Leonard to get through. So we'll see how that folds out. But Tony Parker to the Hornets, it's a done deal. What isn't a done deal quite yet, but will be most likely, is Carmelo Anthony being done with the Oklahoma City Thunder. It sounds like both sides will agree to a buyout here soon within the summer, so it's going to be interesting to see where Melo goes. A lot of people are saying LA to play LeBron. I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't think they need that. I'd be interested to see him go to a team like the Grizzlies, the Grit and Grind, which is I believe, fan-sided affiliated network that covers the Memphis Grizzlies, has a very nice article out right now talking about the impact Melo would have as a Memphis Grizzly, and I really like it. I do think that they need some wing scoring. They already have Triple J, Jaron Jackson Jr., who we'll talk about in just a minute, talented rookie, and you also have Mike Conley, so I feel like that would fit really well with a wing scorer, even if Melo were to come off the bench, because Chandler Parsons not getting it done, and you guys want him off the team anyway. So, but yeah, Melo most likely 100% not going to be a Thunder next year. Tyreek Evans almost won Sixth Man of the Year last year, signed a 1-year, $12 million deal with the Indiana Pacers. That team looks really stacked. They also signed Kyle O'Quinn today. Obviously, they have Victor Oladipo, one of the best up-and-coming superstars in the league. They gave LeBron and the Cavs some trouble last year in the opening round of the playoffs. They were the 4th seed, brought the Cavs to 7 games. So it was very awesome to see them flourish like that. You also have Domantas Sabonis on that team. So the Pacers are looking pretty good. I do like this Tyreek Evans. I'm guessing he is going to be coming off the bench, but he could find his way into the starting role if he plays well enough for them. But his best use is firecracker off the bench for offensive output. So I'd like to see that. Wilson Chandler was traded to the 76ers virtually for nothing. I think it was really the only thing the Nuggets got out of that was the cap relief. It saved them about $50 million if you include the taxes that they were going to have to pay for Wilson Chandler's contract. I believe they swapped like second-round picks with the Sixers or something. Either way, really good wing pickup for the 76ers. They also added Naminja Jelinka. Tell me if I'm saying that wrong. If I butchered that, let me know. I've only heard his last name ever pronounced, Jelinka. I've never heard his first name pronounced, so I'm not sure if it's Naminja or Naminja. I'm not sure. But anyway, former Timberwolf, another really good power forward, young guy as well. So that's going to be very nice for the Sixers to add 2 I guess veterans who really, their last teams didn't want them. So the 76ers, really good pickups there. Wilson Chandler, I wish he could have came to the Portland Trailblazers. We need a lengthy wing guy like that. And his contract obviously would have been fine for us because we do have a TPE and an MLE, which would work in our favor for that. We'd be able to absorb the contract and still get production out of Wilson Chandler. Expiring deal as well. So we'll see how he ends up working with that very young team over in Philadelphia. You also have Rajon Rondo heading over to the Lakers. That team is shaping up to be so interesting. You have Lance Stevenson, JaVale McGee, LeBron James, of course, and now Rajon Rondo mixing in with Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo Ball, some of those other young rookies. Or I guess not rookies, sorry, just young players over there at the Lakers. So it looks like Rondo will be Lonzo Ball's backup unless Ball somehow gets traded. Doesn't sound like he will, though. All that Damian Lillard trade talk seems to have extinguished now, thank God, because I don't think that's going to happen. Neil O'Shea, pretty much at a press conference this morning, shot every single piece down that had to do with Damian Lillard heading to the Lakers or anywhere. He said he's here to stay. So it looks like Lonzo Ball is probably going to stay unless he's included in the Kawhi Leonard trade. So Rondo's going to be backing him up. Very good veteran pickup. He played nicely for the Pelicans last year, especially in the playoffs. So that's going to be nice to see. Let's do some quick roundup to cap this off. The Blazers signed Seth Curry, not Steph Curry, Seth Curry, who looks to bounce back from an injury he had last year with the Dallas Mavericks. However, he is one of the best young shooting guards in the league, the former Duke Blue Devil. I guess he's not really that young anymore. I believe he's 27 or 28. So he's still technically a veteran, but 1-year deal with the Blazers. Him and Nick Stauskas are the new guards that have been signed to the team, so it's going to be interesting to see how they're utilized. Avery Bradley is going back to the Los Angeles Clippers on a 2-year deal. One of the best perimeter defenders in the league stays with the LA Clippers. Then the big news, Dwight Howard is going to DC. He finalized his buyout. I mean, I talked about this last week, but it's pretty much official now. Finalized his buyout with the Nets, and now he is signing a 2-year, $11 million deal with the Washington Wizards. So it'll be Howard, John Wall, Bradley Beal, Otto Porter Jr. Marcin Gortat was already traded earlier this offseason. So that I think that's pretty good three-headed monster right there. It's decent at least. It'll win you some games, especially in the East. And then you have Jeff Green also going to the Wizards. So DC is kind of jam-packed right now with some good talent. And then you have the Utah Jazz retaining both Raul Neto and Dante Exum, a couple of point guards on that team. So, shout out to them. Both of those guys have been improving since they got into the league. So it's only a matter of time for them to, I guess, shine in the same system they've been playing in if all goes according to plan. So the Jazz are being smart by retaining these guys who have promise. Maybe not have shown it in the league, but they have promise, and a lot of the times you can let those guys slip away. So it'll be interesting to see how both of those guys play. Dante Exum, of course, former 5th overall pick in the NBA draft. And the Warriors have kept Kevin Looney. The Thunder have kept Raymond Felton, and the 76ers kept Amir Johnson. So a lot of veterans staying with their former teams, which is really interesting. And then to cap all of this update off, Marcus Smart and Clint Capella continue to be unsigned. Somehow, neither of those guys have gotten any offers. Of course, Capella is restricted. Marcus Smart has yet to even have a conversation with the Boston Celtics, he's saying. So that'll be really, really, really interesting to see what the Celtics end up doing with Marcus Smart, because he was a very important piece for them last year, as was Clint Capella for the Rockets. Rockets might not have any cap space to sign Clint Capella. They're at about $129 million in cap space, and that's quite a bit. So Capella may be finding a new home. It just depends on where and when, and hopefully it's soon, because I really want to see where Capella ends up, because that team is going to be fantastic with a young center like Capella there. So that is all the free agency news that we have for now. Let's jump into some Summer League scores and updates to cap this show off. But before we jump into that, I do have an announcement regarding the Las Vegas Summer League, which started earlier today. A good friend of mine and fellow basketball junkie Hunter Grimm will be attending the quarterfinals of the Las Vegas Summer League on Saturday, July 16th. The night before, a podcast episode featuring Hunter will drop on this channel. And during that podcast, we will be previewing the state of the games, the whole slate that we'll be watching the next day on that Saturday. We'll be breaking all of that down, talking about who we're going to see, who we're most excited to see, all of that good stuff. An episode will also drop that Saturday night as we recap what we saw before I get back on a plane and fly home. And a bonus video or two will be coming out. It'll either be live from the complex, the Cox Pavilion, or the Thomas Mack Center down in Las Vegas. We'll either have a live video going, me talking to you guys about what's going on, showing you some of the landscape there over in Vegas, or it'll just be a montage video. I'm not sure yet. Not even sure if it's going to be a full one video or a couple of videos chopped up. Not even sure yet, but be sure to subscribe. Click that subscribe button down below to stay up to date so you know what is coming, when it is coming. So that'll be a lot of fun. Friday, we'll be leaving to Vegas. Saturday, we'll be watching the games, going back home on Sunday. So Saturday, July 16th, be looking out for that. For the Summer Classic matchups, let's get into this news. Down in Utah and Sacramento, a couple of days there. I believe it was the 3rd through the 5th, or maybe the 2nd through the 5th. A lot of young superstars were able to play for their teams in kind of exhibition games. Trae Young and Jaron Jackson Jr. were in the forefront during this Summer Classic. Young struggled from three often, and he went 1 of 12 in his opening game. He also got into a little tussle with Grayson Allen during both of the team's last games. A lot of speculation led to, or I guess a lot of people were talking about who was at fault there. A lot of speculation surrounding if Trae Young was kind of overreacting, if Grayson Allen was just playing good defense. You'll have to watch the clip for yourself. Honestly, I think Grayson Allen went a little extra with that shoulder there. Other than that, I think it was, totally just clean, regular scruffle. But, Grayson Allen with that little shoulder check at the end there when the whistle has already been blown and Trae Young is already backing away. Kind of messed up. Grayson Allen will get two-pieced in the NBA, though. Trust me, if he tries that on some people, Grayson Allen will not be taken kindly. The Jazz ended up winning that game. Grayson Allen had like 8.7 rebounds, 9 assists, something like that. Almost a triple-double, some sort of Draymond Green stat line. And both of those guys got technicals. And then the other guy, Jaron Jackson Jr., had 29 points in his debut game. He played very well, obviously, for the Memphis Grizzlies. I mentioned him earlier. Lengthy power forward out of Michigan State, the 4th overall pick in the league. I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to be starting for the Grizzlies when the regular season tips off. Just fantastic athlete. He can also shoot it from 3. He's almost impossible to defend. He is a unicorn, just like Kristaps Porzingis. So I'm excited to see Jaron Jackson Jr. In action. Hopefully I get to see him at the Summer League. But yeah, he played great. So speaking of the Summer League, 2 games are in the books as of now. It is about 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. A game is going on right now, but I'm not going to give you guys the results of that because I don't think it's over yet, and I'm not going to check on it. I'm just going to go through the 2 games that are actually final and in the books. Led by 20 points from Daniel House and Trevon Duval, the Houston Rockets defeated the Indiana Pacers 92-89. Exciting game, very, very nice first tip-off game for the Las Vegas Summer League. Aaron Holiday, the rookie out of UCLA, Drew Holiday's brother, and Justin Holiday, who plays for the Chicago Bulls. He's a rookie, and he scored a game-high 23 points for the Pacers in the losing effort. The other game featured the Toronto Raptors against the New Orleans Pelicans, and by a score of 90-77, the Pelicans took the win behind 24 points from Trayvon Blewett. Of course, Blewett was a standout over at Villanova, won a championship with them. Somehow went drafted in 2018, finds himself on the Pelicans. Very impressive debut. For the Raptors, both Alfonso McKinney and Raul Alkins dropped a team-high 12 points each. Took a 13-point loss, though. So, Raptors are 0-1, Pacers are 0-1, but big ups to both the Rockets and the New Orleans Pelicans for getting couple of W's here in the NBA Summer League, Las Vegas Summer League, and being 1-0 to start out the, I guess not tournament hasn't started yet, but the actual league. So that's all the time we got for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. A little scattered today. Apologize for that, but I hope you guys enjoyed listening. Be sure to follow us on both Twitter and Instagram at The Orange Globe. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more content. As always, I'm Dayton Brown, coming to you from the Orange Globe. See you guys in the next one.